Time now for the 10-minute war, a little homage to the great 10-year war from back in the day with our one and only reasonable Bucknut, at least the only one we could find, who also has a fantastic channel right here on YouTube as well, the voice of college football, Mark Rogers. Good to see you again, my friend. How you be?
Steve, I'm doing well. I was reminded today of how long it's been since Michigan or Ohio State beat Michigan on Twitter. There's some account out there that reminds.
I believe it's 1,016 days or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. I had to remind them, how long has it been since Michigan won a game against a Power 5 team?
Nice deflection. I appreciate that. Hey, I've been in your shoes, all right? You need about 8 more years of those deflections before I'm going to feel any remote level of empathy whatsoever. And no sympathy ever is forthcoming at all. Before we get it, speaking of no sympathy, before we get into Michigan's, I guess we'll call it peaceful transition of power at quarterback, fellow Bucknut, Marcus Freeman. Man, I watched a lot of that game against Marshall. And it reminded me a lot of Rich Rod losing to Toledo in his first year. Now, this Marshall team's a lot better than that Toledo team was, but that Michigan team is nowhere near as good as this Notre Dame team was expected to be. It was not ranked in the preseason AP poll. Notre Dame was preseason number 5, 0-3. Pete Sampson, who's kind of the Chris Ballas, Sam Webb of Notre Dame. I don't know who does that for you guys. Is it like Kevin Noonan? Used to be my old buddy Kyle Lamb, but he's working for Governor DeSantis now. So I don't know who the guy is. Is that your Steve Hellwagon? Is that who he is? Maybe okay.
Kevin Noon, Tony Gerdman.
Oh, so it's Noon, not Noonan. I got it wrong. I apologize. Okay, all right, but that's kind of who he is for Notre Dame. And brother, man, he all but played taps on the Marcus Freeman era when I was listening to him on Sunday morning. But you're 0-3. No coach at Notre Dame's ever been 0-3. I think what has to concern you is they've lost all 3 of these games in different ways. They gave Spencer Sanders the one game where he's truly seemed competent as a starting quarterback in 3 years in college football in the bowl game. Then they played a terrific defense against Ohio State, and then they got exposed. They have no weapons. Forget your offense. When I look at their starting offensive lineman, even before the quarterback got hurt, and that quarterback, by the way, J.J. McCarthy wanted to go there. They chose that quarterback over J.J. McCarthy. That's how we got him, is he wanted to go to Notre Dame, and they wanted the other kid. Even when he's in there, I count tops 2 guys on their offense that would start for us. Okay? And we're not exactly explosive offense all right? So I don't know, man. I don't... it rarely works. It worked. The reason why we always remember Nick Saban and Dabo is because those are the only 2 times the save the recruiting class, hire the guy from within with no coaching resume. That never works. Most of the time it's Bobby Williams and not Dabo Sweeney. So this is Bobby Williams redux. Prove me wrong.
Well, I do jump on the approach that, he's not the Messiah, he's not the Savior. That's how he's been touted the entire offseason by Notre Dame faithful, who believe that Brian Kelly just did a horrendous job there. Marcus Freeman, a lot of it is not, it is maybe a little bit more swag and communication skills than it is substance. But what I'm going to say here is that there's a transition here. He's a capable football coach. He should be more capable as he learns. We saw a less on stage, less given attention example of what could be done when Matt Luke had to take over for Hugh Freeze at Ole Miss. I'll bring that example up. Rich Rod comes into that example because he was an offensive coordinator at Ole Miss. Mike McIntyre, the former Colorado San Jose State coach, as defensive coordinator, that maybe you want to go that route if you've got an inexperienced guy as the head coach, but you want to prime him, prep him, have him grow into the job, then you surround him with the type of experience, high-level experience on the staff that are going to help him navigate the pitfalls of being a head coach. But hey, you call me the measured bucket. I hate that term, Buckeye fan. So That's what I am. I'm not blowing the whistle on Marcus Freeman after what I'm going to call 2 games. 3 are on his record, 2 games as Notre Dame head coach. Could be a rocky season or two of 7 or 8 wins, but man, he's got the world in front of him. He's, let him grow, let him adapt, let him learn.
I agree. I hope they leave him there to let him learn. I especially with Urban Meyer out there on the open market, I'd much rather see Marcus Freeman there than him. So I agree. They should just let him there, leave him there to grow and experience all those growing pains, Jerry Faust style, live in real time in living color. I agree with you. I'm all for it.